Since we can remember, we've heard stories about a boy and his dog, but this isn't just another story about a boy and a dog. A college student from Tucson, Arizona, who was 18 years old at the time, found a lost puppy in a shopping cart and asked his parents if he could keep it. If they found out their puppy wasn't really a puppy, they'd be shocked, because the man's parents thought it would be nice to have a dog around and thought they could handle the responsibility. They told him he could keep him. They gave him the name Neo, but they could tell right away that he was different. He was a little scary. Neo used the man's car as a bathroom, and he wouldn't let anyone else pay him any attention but the man. Neo really wanted a lot of attention too. Neo was a total mess when he went to work or school. No matter what Neo's parents did, Neo never trusted them. So, Neo's parents put him in the backyard in the hopes that he would run around and play like other dogs. But Neo isn't at all like a regular dog, so that's not what he did. Neo doesn't like to play with balls or lie around like most puppies do. Neo was a pro at getting away, which the neighbors didn't really like. Not only was Neo a very athletic dog, but he was also very determined. He would dig under the fence or jump it to get out. Neo wasn't trying to be a nuisance. He had a reason to run away, and it didn't take long for his owner to figure it out. Every time Neo got out of his cage, he went to see his German Shepherd friends who lived next door. Neo didn't always like to hang out with people, but he loved to be around other dogs. The dogs next door just kept barking at him, and he couldn't ignore them. All of this was great for Neo, but his neighbors had their own thoughts on the matter. Neo's human neighbors wanted to help, so whenever Neo ran away, they took him in and then returned him to his owner when he got home. Neo, on the other hand, didn't really want to be friends with them. He didn't want to look at them or eat the treats they gave him. He just wanted to stay out of sight in their bathroom until it was time to go home. At this point, his owner had no choice but to do something crazy. It looks like Neo's family could have done a little more to keep Neo safe. They built a fence that was much taller and a lot stronger so that their crazy Neo wouldn't bother the neighbors every day. Even though the fence was pretty pricey, it seemed to be what they needed, so they put it up. Of course, the fence wasn't going to hold Neo back. It was more like a fun new challenge though. Neo didn't waste any time before he started chewing through the brand new fence that his family had just put up. His jaw strength was out of this world. Now that the annoying fence problem was fixed, Neo could go see his friends again. Everyone was getting tired of the escape artist, and they all knew something had to change. When Neo ran away again, the neighbors were out of ideas, so they called the local animal shelter. The family took Neo to the Humane Society of Southern Arizona in hopes of getting some professional advice and maybe even a place for Neo to stay until his owner came home. When Neo met Maureen O'Neill, the CEO of the shelter, she told him something that shocked everyone in his life. O'Neill went up to Neo and his owners right away. She said, "You know that's not a dog, right?" Because Neo was skinny but strong, had a rough coat, and had beautiful amber eyes, and because he avoided most people, Maureen knew right away what Neo was. He wasn't a dog either. Neo had wolf fur. No one seemed too shocked when they heard, but it did make things hard for everyone, especially Neo. It looked like Arizona state law said that no one could legally own a wolf unless they were of Native American descent or got a special permit. The shelter couldn't even take Neo in because they would have to tell the police about him, and that meant Neo was probably going to be killed. Neo's family didn't want that to happen, so they had to figure out something else quickly. O'Neill started looking into it and found something that might be able to help. A group called Wolf Connection used to work in California. They had land, special facilities, and people who knew how to take care of wolves and wolf hybrids like Neo, who was probably one of these. Neo would get the care he needed there from people who knew what they were doing. All they had to do was wait for Neo to be let in, and they did take him in. Even though it was hard for his owner, he agreed that it would be best for Neo to go to the Wolf Connection in California. Neo had to learn how to get used to his new home, which meant getting used to a lot of other wolves. Usually, this is done very carefully and slowly. Neo, on the other hand, did everything in a very different way. He wouldn't do anything else but try to get away, right? Neo didn't want to wait any longer to meet his new friends, so he broke out of his pen. After Neo snuck out, he decided that he wanted to meet Maya, the alpha female wolf who lived in the enclosure next to him. Even though it was stressful for the caretakers, they couldn't stop Neo from doing what he was doing. Everything worked out well, thank goodness. Neo and the other wolves got along great. Neo was also jumping the fence to hang out with the German shepherds next door. It turned out that he did this because he wanted to have his own pack. It also told why Neo had always been so shy around people. All that was left for the wolf dog to do was get used to his new surroundings. And Neo did just that. Neo is very happy with his new home at Wolf Connection. Wolf Connection has worked with wolf dogs like Neo before, so they knew exactly how to take care of him. He is now a very well-balanced wolf dog. You can read about Neo's adventures with his new pack on the Wolf Connection website and on their Facebook page, where they post pictures of Neo and his friends all the time. It looks like this rambunctious rescue dog did better than fine in the end. Neo will live a very happy and long life, thanks to his first owner and the staff at Wolf Connection.